Hello, my name is Tim. I'm a knowledge expert at Micro Center in Houston. Today I'm going to show you how to change your default programs. Um, I get a lot of questions throughout the day that where people ask, where people basically lose their default program, whether it's for Outlook or Windows Live Mail or their browsers, and they want to know how to change it back to what they were used to. So the first thing you want to do is to go to Start, and you go to Control Panel, and by default you'll see Category unless you changed it. So just go to Large Icons, makes it easier to see everything. Click on Default Programs, and then from here you have a few options. The two biggest ones are going to be Set Your Default Programs and Set Program Access and Computer Defaults. So underneath the first one, Set Your Default Programs, if you click on it, give it a second, and you'll see all the programs where Windows will allow you to set as your default. So, for instance, if I want Firefox to be my default browser, which it already is, I can tell it to set this program as a default or choose defaults for this program. So if I click that, you'll see a list of everything that Firefox has a default for. And you can kind of go in here and select what you want it to act as your default. The other one would be either Live Mail or Outlook for an email client. If I click on Outlook, I can see that Outlook already has all of its defaults, so it is my default email client. If I wanted to switch it, say to Live Mail, click on Windows Live Mail, and you can see that it has 0 out of 4 defaults, which means it is obviously not my default email client. If I want to make it my default email client, I can just click on that, set this program as default, and you'll see that now the program has all of its defaults. So anytime I try to click on an email link in, say, Firefox or Internet Explorer, Windows Live Mail is what will come up by default. Likewise, if I want to change, say, Internet Explorer to my default browser, you can see that it's got 4 out of its 14 defaults. So I can click on Set This Program as Defaults, or as default, and it'll change it over. If I want as well, I can go into, say, let's go into Outlook. I can decide to choose defaults for this program, and you'll see everything that it is has its defaults for. So you can see right here, Windows Live Mail has control over just your normal email messages, and that's a .enl, as well as the Mail2 protocol, and that would be if I were to click an email link inside of my web browser. This is how you would change what program it would automatically launch. So in my case, it's Windows Live Mail. So I'm going to go back and change it to Outlook. Now you see it has all of its defaults again. The other thing you can do, let's say it's a a movie or a video or music, Windows Media Player by default, unless you've installed something else, will be the default media program. So you can see it has 53 out of 55 defaults. And then I also have VLC Media Player, and you see that has 57 out of 100 defaults. So they're kind of sharing back and forth. If I want to make VLC my default, just click on that, and you can see now it's my default media program. You also notice as you change your defaults, the icons will change. So VLC now has control of those two file types. I want to change it over to Windows Media Player. Now you can see it changes them over to Windows Media Player. If you decide to, you can go in and change it. Tell VLC or whatever media program you're using, whichever one you have installed, to only open certain files. And if you go through the list here, depending on the program, it'll give you a list of a bunch of different file types that you can choose to change. And you can just kind of click whichever ones you want. So if I wanted to handle .movs or the QuickTime movie, I can check that, hit save, and now by default VLC will open .mov files or QuickTime files. It's a very simple process. It'll also allow you to avoid some frustration if you're noticing that the program you're used to is not opening up what it used to by default. And the times that's going to change is if you install multiple different programs to manage the same thing. The newest one you install most likely is going to change it to the default program. So if I have Windows Live Mail on my system and I install Outlook, Outlook then most likely is going to become the default email client. So if you would like to change it back, that is how you do it. Again, my name is Tim. I am a knowledge expert at Micro Center in Houston, and thank you for watching.